Subscribe to the William Pace Show YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell and give us the thumbs up. Thank you.
The William Pace Show through the years has been a beacon of light in the Midwest, taking you to such destinations as the Navy Pier, the Palmer Hilton Palace Hotel, the German Village, the Showboat Majestic Theatre, the Ohio Village, and the Krohn Conservatory. There's always something cooking in the kitchen on the William Pace Show. Some of the biggest stars, entertainers, and political figures like B.B. King, Jimmy Walker, Bob Carlisle, Patti Austin, Mr. T, Whitley Phibbs, and Congressman Tony Hall have appeared on the William Pace Show. Now, without further ado, we proudly present the William Pace Show on CATV, coming to you from the heart of the Midwest. The William Pace Show, asking the questions you want to ask, getting the answers everyone wants to know. It's a new season of the William Pace Show. We're raising the bar with more commitment to educate, inform, encourage, inspire, empower, and help you have your best life. Everyone deserves to have their best life. I'm just staying the course. Here we go.
The following is a production by an independent producer. The views and opinions expressed are those of the producer and/or participants. They do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of DATV, its board of trustees, or this cable system.
The William Pace Show through the years has been a beacon of light in the Midwest, taking you to such destinations as the Navy Pier, the Palmer Hilton Palace Hotel, the German Village, the Showboat Majestic Theatre, the Ohio Village, and the Krohn Conservatory. There's always something cooking in the kitchen on the William Pace Show. Some of the biggest stars, entertainers, and political figures like B.B. King, Jimmy Walker, Bob Carlisle, Patti Austin, Mr. T, Whitley Phibbs, and Congressman Tony Hall have appeared on the William Pace Show. Now, without further ado, we proudly present the William Pace Show on CATV, coming to you from the heart of the Midwest.
Subscribe to the William Pace Show YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell and give us the thumbs up. Thank you.
To write to the William Pace Show, write to Post Office Box 3644, Dayton, Ohio 45401. If your letter is chosen to be read on the air, you'll receive a gift from the William Pace Show.
Good evening, I'm William Pace. Tonight we're at the Santa Clara Arts District and we're spotlighting a couple of people here. Mr. Michael Harris, who is the owner of Art Now, and his art director, Sandy Cousins Young. Good to have you both on the show tonight. How did you get started in this business?
Well, I got in this business around about 5 years ago. And the business has been very good here in Santa Clara area. And I was born in Cincinnati, and I always wanted to encourage others, my younger brothers, and I wanted to make my mother and father proud of me by starting my own business and showing the young black, young people, to show them that a black young man from Cincinnati, there's something they can be proud of. And so this is what I do now.
So was it your interest in art primarily that made you wanted to open up a gallery here? Why did you decide Santa Clara of all places?
Well, it was a growing district, and I wanted to share that. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to help it grow.
And then shortly after you open up, you hired Sandy, the art director, to come in and help you too. So what is your role here in the gallery?
It's interesting. I think it's more so counseling. I'm also the liaison between the store and the artist. We try and feature one artist, a local artist, hopefully, that has achieved something in the art world, and yet is not well known in his own hometown. We have Tyrone Jeters right now, and as you know, Jeters is from Dayton, went to Roosevelt, went to OU, got his master's, and then headed off to see the world. When he came back, he brought his paintings with him, and he was visiting. And we had the store open, and it was selling the finer reproduction furnitures that we carry. And Tyrone came in, and he looked around at these walls, and he said, you know, this really would make a really great gallery. And I looked at him and said, well, yeah, let's give a show. And he did. Michael was very helpful in allowing him to have the resources to put it together and to allow him the space. And we've benefited very well.
So this is sort of a place for young artists to get a start and get exposure then?
Absolutely. Young ones, well, young at heart and young, okay. In the art world, especially among the minorities, so many of us have full-time jobs, and art tends to be, while it is your passion, it also tends to be your second job. You might do it after you retire, or you might do it on a Saturday. And there are many, many artists like that here in the Dayton area. Some of them study with Bing Davis in his studio in terms of the minority artists. Others just do it for years in their own basement, and no one ever sees their work. And Mike Harris here said, well, look, let's try and find these people.
And give them some opportunity, some exposure. What do you think people are looking for today when they come into a gallery?
Well, they're looking for original work.
Okay. How is the furniture today's furniture that they're making, different from the furniture they made, say, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago?
Well,
100 maybe?
Back in the 20s and the 30s, they made furniture with the real woods. And today they're making the furniture out of particle board. And they're using, putting nails to hold it, and not, just with cheap glue, and it just will not hold.
Well, the furniture of 40 or 50 years ago used to be quite an art in itself, and how it was assembled and put together. There was a certain kind of carpentry that went into the assembling of the furniture. You think we'll go back to those times? You think there's an interest among people to have that as compared to the furniture that they're making today?
I don't think it'll go back.
You don't think it'll go back to the old days?
No.
Why?
Well, I don't know why, but everybody seems like they're just taking the shortcut on things now.
Is it in terms of cost? Is it cheaper to buy the newer furniture today? I guess it is, and the older furniture requires so much carpentry work in it, which makes it more costly. And time.
Right.
And so it's cost effective to buy something newer today, and it's cheaper too, so I guess, but still you have those people who love the old furniture, and that would pay the money for it too.
Right, especially the antiques.
As you were saying, a part of the fact that we're a throwaway type of society. And I wish we could go back to the days when craftsmen actually existed. That was an art, as you pointed out, in itself that we may have lost. There are very few who can actually do very good carpentry work. So
it's like the historic houses. I think the historic neighborhoods, they give us a part of the history. They tell us a certain history of years long ago. And I think that there's a need to restore, preserve those treasures, and just like the houses, I think the furnishings too.
And art. Don't forget that, because I think back in the 1800s, when they were buying furniture that we so admire now, it was affordable. and the art was affordable. And as time and appreciation and the realization that, that is art, and people began to collect. And when they began to collect, of course, the value was then placed on it. And that brings us to the original art that we are able to offer here in connection also with the solid pieces that Mike finds. It allows someone to begin a collection. To really say I was there at the beginning when a particular artist was just becoming known or just being exposed. And that has been lost in our community a great deal.
Is there a cross-section of people that come in the store, like people from different parts of town, African Americans, white, Hispanics?
Right. For the most part, what we have done is that Michael, in the 5 years he's been here, has built up such a great reputation in terms of the type of furniture and the type of consignments that he will take, that his clientele reaches from North Dayton to South Dayton and beyond to the different counties. With the artwork, bringing an original artist in who is known in the artist community, that brought another demographic type of people from not only the Dayton area, but from Cincinnati, Columbus, Akron, Cleveland.
So you have quite a clientele following.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I travel all over the world to find antiques and all sorts of good used furniture, like shaker furniture, pieces from Henry Don, and the ball and claw on down to the Chippendale, to the just all kinds of furniture through all the periods, periods of different ages of furniture. And the real good stuff is very hard to find now. So when you do have a good piece, you have to put it on display and sell it. And when you carry a good piece of furniture like that, people, they will buy it because it's very rare.
So you have the people looking for a rare treasure then, so to speak.
Yes.
Tell me about the art hop.
Okay, our Santa Clara art hops, we usually take one Saturday out of each month, which is the second Saturday out of each month, and we keep the stores open from 12 to 10 p.m. at night, and everybody's invited to the art hop, and each store is open. We have music, refreshments, and just open up our store and just make it like a big home.
Do you have more people coming at that time as compared to throughout the week?
Oh yes, people just enjoy coming in, meeting the people, and seeing what we carry, and just serving the whole community.
Now, how many people would you say attend these art hops?
Let's say about 3,000.
Wow, per month?
Yes.
And that's one of the really nice things about this particular business district, is that each small business supports another small business. There is a real sharing from the global sharing down the street with the nuns who bring in merchandise from overseas, the missionary countries that they're in, to Rutledge, who is also an art gallery, but it, of course deals in a higher figure. We're anticipating an Ethiopian restaurant being open here.
Really?
Right here on the corner. The one that is opening up at the end of April is actually a cafe, a coffee cafe. So we're bringing a lot into the area in terms of not just customers, but also the types of businesses that I think people really can enjoy bringing families to, and spending a Saturday afternoon and evening.
You know, one of the neat things here, I was driving down the street a couple of nights ago, and I noticed the lights on the building here.
Yes, the neon lights, right. We were looking for a way to be distinctive, and the SCUBA, which is the business association for the Santa Clara area, had decided that to make it distinctive, that they would place the neon lights in different colors on all these buildings. So
it's like a rainbow.
Even though we're not here at night,
the area,
the area is just lit. It's very distinctive. You know you're in the Santa Clara area.
Right. It really is very catchy. Do you think that the future art will be different from the art of today?
In terms of how one collects it, or how it's done?
In terms of how it's put together, in terms of the interpretation of the art?
You know, art, and Mike sings and also plays the piano, and I know you sing. Art is the humanities. It's all of those things.
So it's going to be evolving constantly.
It's always, right. As long as your literature evolves, as long as your music evolves, of course your art is going to, the art that is the paintings will also evolve along with it.
I want to ask you to tell me a little bit about the artists that you have works on display currently here in the store.
We're doing a 30-year retrospective of Tyrone Jeter. And Tyrone came out of Roosevelt in the mid-60s, Tyrone? Somewhere around there. Let's put it this way. Tyrone came out of Roosevelt, and when I met him, he was down at Ohio University. And majoring in art there. And Tyrone stayed there to work on his master's, and when he had left there, he did about 10 years in Zaire. And he was on staff teaching art there. And you'll see his whole life retrospective. As you go through the 30 years here, you can see when he was here in the 60s and early 70s, when he took his journey to the mother country, when he went to Africa and spent the 10 years there, and actually began his family. He met his wife there, and his children were born there. And then you look at when he came back. Tyrone now is on the staff of the University of Akron, where he teaches. And you see the moving, his family involvement, which is really unique about Tyrone, is that you don't get a lot of painters, first of all, who do very well in pastel like he does, but also paints family. You get family around the kitchen table. We have a picture here of his daughter just braiding her hair. He's a book illustrator, and one of the books, White Sox, is the #1 bestseller. So the man is just multi-talented, and he's from here. And that means that what he is came from here, came from Dayton.
Absolutely.
And we need to, while he's celebrated in Africa and in Europe and in the larger metropolitan cities, we also need, and especially in Celebrate 96, we need to highlight these people who go off and are never seen, per se, in their own home again. And we're just very, very lucky, and we have benefited greatly from reacquainting ourselves with Tyrone, and also from him allowing us to be a part of this retrospective here.
You know, I've heard it said that art is a reflection of the times that we're living in. Do you think that's true?
What do you think, Mike?
I think so.
That it reflects what's going on at the current time.
And that's how Tyrone Jeter paints.
Right, and it may be, you know, you may not see, like in the charcoal he did in Malcolm X back there, which is a fantastic charcoal. There's no judgment, there's no statement, there's just this man who sits there in contemplation. It's fantastic. You know, artists tend to go inward with what they see in our, in quote, real world. And when you can take what is inward and bring it back out and let us look at it in a different way, from a different perspective, then I think we've got art. And when you ask what makes this store unique, you've got to say it's Michael who makes it unique, okay? But a part of that is that he really will tell you how to use the piece that you buy. He really will.
That's right.
And you can actually come in here. It's like coming into your living room. It's like coming into your home. And we keep it that way. You know, art is displayed as it would be displayed in your own home. Your furniture is placed as it would be placed in your own home.
I feel like I am in my own home right now.
Yes, and would you like another cup of tea?
Sure. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you, William. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. There's more to come. Stay with us.
Pace Show. Write to Post Office Box 3644, Dayton, Ohio 45401. If your letter is chosen to be read on the air, you'll receive a gift from the William Pace Show.
The William Pace Show through the years has been a beacon of light in the Midwest, taking you to such destinations as the Navy Pier, the Palmer Hilton Palace Hotel, the German Village, the Showboat Majestic Theatre, the Ohio Village, and the Krohn Conservatory. There's always something cooking in the kitchen on the William Pace Show. Some of the biggest stars, entertainers, and political figures like B.B. King, Jimmy Walker, Bob Carlisle, Patti Austin, Mr. T, Whitley Phibbs, and Congressman Tony Hall have appeared on the William Pace Show. Now, without further ado, we proudly present the William Pace Show on CATV, coming to you from the heart of the Midwest.
Subscribe to the William Pace Show YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell and give us the thumbs up. Thank you.
So this is Patience here.
Yes, this is one of what I was telling you, that Tyrone works in a sort of very medias, okay, and the first one, oils here, and this is really very special. This is
beautiful.
Patience, and that's his wife, in waiting for their first child. And it's a striking piece when you look at it over a buffet like this, or imagine that in the center hall when you come into a hall.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's just, I think, a tribute to how he feels about his wife, and something that he really wanted to keep on canvas. As we go down, we look at Tyrone beginning to work in pastels. This one is called My Sister, My Mother, and it depicts black women in the traditional sense of nurturing, generational, and how we do it in a family. You know, it's just not the mother, but there is also the aunt, the grandmother, the sister. And he picked that up very well, I think.
I like the colors in there.
Yes, that's the trademark of Tyrone's, is the use of pastels so easily. This is another oil.
Called If I Sit Quietly.
If I sit quietly and no one bothers me, I can hear something that I should hear, right? And if we have a chance here, Tyrone is also a book illustrator.
Okay.
Okay, and this one, White Socks Only, went to the top of the dealer's list this past month. So we've got a really good chance of having an award-winning illustrator for a children's book here.
That's wonderful.
And we've got 1, 2, 3, there's about 10 of Tyrone's books that we are selling here. And as we come down, now, this is a print. This is called Loaded Deck. And this is actually, Tyrone didn't go out and find models. He gave birth to them. These are his children. And this one is a, if you look at it, you can see in the foreground is 2 kids playing. But look back here in the background.
You can see people in the background, too.
Right. Isn't that great? You always find something interesting in his painting. When you look at what he was doing with charcoal about, maybe about 10, 15 years ago, this one is the more well-known piece that Jeter has, and this is called The Herdsman. And I think every time he shows or gives an exhibit, this particular piece is the one that just catches people's eyes and they remember it. Again, as we go through, this is a picture that was done for a book illustration, and it looks like someone's sister.
You know, it looks like brandy almost.
Absolutely. And this one, look at this one. This one is called Ancestors. Now, we're playing chess, checkers, we're reading, we're talking, and look who's watching.
A band of angels?
Might as well be. There are angels. Those ancestors who went before us. Isn't that great? Now, we did point out that we had something for everyone, and we also carried prints of many of his work. This would be one example.
Okay.
And one of the famous ones, let me see, where is it? Aha. This is the one we advertised. Movement in Green. This just caught everyone's eye. Isn't that great? And his inspiration for that. Can you guess who that was? The Alvin Ailey too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Which one? This one here?
These right here. These are called Grandma's Wisdoms. Okay, Wisdom 1 and Wisdom 2. And it just really depicts what one does. It just picks it up. What you do with your grandparents and how they have some kind of influence in your life at a very early age. Right. They're teaching us to read. They're teaching us to cook. They're always teaching us. Look at this.
And these three men here, called The Evolution of X.
Right. This is Malcolm X. He did a series on Malcolm, which ranged from the contemplation of X down to where we're looking at. This one here, I believe, was called, this is the contemplation. We have two contemplations. It's almost as if Malcolm was contemplating himself or confronting himself. And then, as he became older and into his own truth, the weariness of that burden. This is all charcoal. Isn't that fantastic? Then we're going to go down. This is the resurrection of X. And this was the last of the series.
With his hands up, I guess it's just too much, huh?
Yes. But the resurrection, too. And we have, remember the black and white,
Yes.
black and white, the herdsman? Here it is done in pastels. It gives depth. Isn't it great?
You know, it almost looks like she's in a boat, in a way.
You know, that's the beauty of being able to go to an art gallery, I think, is when you can go in and see something that you can interpret for yourself and not have someone else do it for you. And you get good enjoyment out of just watching it. Now, as we come around the room here, I want you to look at, this is Michael's, what we call our primitive corner. We go to auctions almost every week, and we pick up those pieces. And if Mike would come in and speak a bit to what he does.
I like to talk about with this Gone with the Wind lamp
I love that lamp.
in the 1920s, and it's called Gone with the Wind. And this is a chair with a rush seat. And this chair was in the late 1800s. Okay, and I have right here, I have an old stove. And you can put your coals at the bottom.
And they cook on the grill.
Right. Okay, and right here, I have an old table. Now, this table's in the 1920s. And it's enamel on the top. And very rare today. They're making reproductions today. A reproduction will cost you around about $300 to $500.
I like this. It pulls out.
Yes, it pulls
So
out.
it's like an extension to the table then.
Correct, like a leaf.
This probably is the most talked about piece that we have here, Charles' Celebration. And the reason is because it's just an absolute beautiful, authentic use of pastels. He is, and I must say this, in my experience, and that's been 22 years of looking at this, he has been one of the best to do pastels that I've ever seen. And as we move along here, we're about ending up. We do have, these are all original pieces here, one oil left, and these again are pastels. The framing is done by Tyrone himself, the artist. He selects the frame that he wants to go with a particular picture. And he obviously his good taste shows, because I don't think there's any framing in here that would not go in any decor. And we're going to round around the corner here and finish up.
Back to the little sitting area here.
And above that we have, of course, a piece called Saturday Morning Dance Class, which features his youngest daughter.
Isn't that precious?
And that's exactly how we felt the first day and going in here. And hoping that we would look like the young artists that are here mirrored in the door. Isn't it fantastic? The camel, which is called the Hamatan. And basically this is the trade route. They really, according to Jeter, look like this. And they still travel the same way and have been doing so for centuries. Finishing up, we're going to come to, once again, two examples of his work, one in pastel and the other one in oil. And both of these are award-winning pictures of paintings that Jeter has done. And when I mean award-winning, I mean that they have shown either in museums or they have been in other art shows that have been juried. That is a member of his peer and a critic of his of the art world, has judged his to be the best. And we are fortunate enough to have 3 of these juried paintings here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the tour of Art
you.
Now. I'd like to thank my guests, Sandy Cousins Young and Mr. Michael Harris. And we're out of time, so I gotta go. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
To write to the William Pace Show, write to Post Office Box 3644, Dayton, Ohio 45401. If your letter is chosen to be read on the air, you'll receive a gift from the William Pace Show.
The proceeding was a production by an independent producer. The views and opinions expressed were those of the producer and/or participants. They did not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of DATV, its board of trustees, or this cable system.
The William Pace Show through the years has been a beacon of light in the Midwest, taking you to such destinations as the Navy Pier, the Palmer Hilton Palace Hotel, the German Village, the Showboat Majestic Theatre, the Ohio Village, and the Krohn Conservatory. There's always something cooking in the kitchen on the William Pace Show. Some of the biggest stars, entertainers, and political figures like B.B. King, Jimmy Walker, Bob Carlisle, Patti Austin, Mr. T, Whitley Phibbs, and Congressman Tony Hall have appeared on the William Pace Show. Now, without further ado, we proudly present the William Pace Show on CATV, coming to you from the heart of the Midwest.
Subscribe to the William Pace Show YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell and give us the thumbs up. Thank you.